What are the dangers of gas poisoning? At first, just a headache, then suffocation can occur. But the most dangerous, and which is even worse than a fire, is an explosion. When gas accumulates in a closed room, even the smallest spark can ignite with lightning speed. That is why it is so important to call emergency services at even the slightest suspicion of a gas leak, as indicated by the smell of gas. This is exactly what a resident of a house in the American city of Knoxville, Tennessee did. He woke up one morning to the faint smell of gas. The man realized that there must be a leak somewhere and that it was better not to waste time. He immediately called the gas emergency services to come and check his house. The emergency team arrived very quickly, and workers started their inspection to find the location of the leak. They began checking the gas pipes from the top of the house, working their way down. But what they saw in the basement made them run away in fear. At first, the owner of the home couldn't understand what the service workers were trying to tell him, as they just pointed down in mute terror. When they finally started to come to their senses, the first thing the resident heard was the word bear. He could not put together what a bear would have to do with his house or the gas leak, but he didn't wait for an intelligible explanation and just went downstairs to see for himself. When he went down to the basement, he simply could not believe his eyes. A huge black bear was sleeping right there. How he got there remained a mystery, but the man realized that it was this bear that had damaged the gas pipe. The service workers called the Natural Resources Agency to tell them about the find. When they arrived on the scene, they moved as quietly as possible so as not to wake the bear. After a preliminary examination, they concluded that it was most likely a male. He probably was just looking for a place to hibernate and dug his way into the basement since it was warm and dry. Employees of the Natural Resources Agency said that it would be better not to wake the bear, but to let him sleep in peace, and then he would leave on his own. So they began to monitor him. One day, when they arrived to observe the bear, they found that it was no longer there. But another surprise awaited them. 3 little bear cubs were in the basement. It turned out to be a female bear. They named the cubs Jasmine, Ginny, and the Sorceress, and now a decision had to be made. Should they take the cubs or leave them in the hope that their mother would return for them? Opinions were divided. Some said that she was unlikely to come back because she smelled humans nearby. Others believed that of course she would return for her cubs. The bear cubs looked to be only a few weeks old, and their eyes had not even opened yet. Experts said that reuniting the cubs with their mother in the wild would be impossible since the babies were still too weak to survive on their own, and if they grew up among humans, then their mother would be even more likely to reject them. Staff from the Appalachian Bear Rescue arrived and suggested starting a search for a surrogate mother, as they also believed their mother would not return. But to the surprise of most, the mother bear did return to feed her cubs. In the wild, mother bears hear the cry of her babies and will immediately come to their aid. And that's what happened here as well, because the little cubs were hungry, so the mother was not afraid of the nearby humans and came to help her babies. It was decided to leave them in the basement of the house until late spring, when the cubs would be strong enough and could follow their mother into the forest. We're not sure if the gas leak was repaired or if the gas was just turned off entirely. We also don't know what happened to the residents of the home, whether they lived in the same house as the bears or were temporarily evicted until spring. But one thing about this story that makes me happy is that the bear was allowed to remain in her chosen shelter and was able to feed her cubs without being disturbed. The Appalachian Bear Rescue staff looked after the family of bears until spring. It is great that there are such wonderful people who treat wild animals with care and attention. Friends, if you enjoyed this story, please click the like button. Share your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and be sure to click on the bell icon so you don't miss our new stories.